The key part of every website is the structure of the website. So that's how users interpret the different services on the website. It's how Google's crawlers interpret the different services on the website. And that's especially pertinent when it comes to finance companies. It's not like a small e-commerce store where they're just looking at the products and if there's a small amount of products, they've got to stand out. Finance companies, I mean, they may have digital products, but generally there are two elements that we need to concentrate on: service coverage and audience coverage. So I mean, I've not searched for anything, but if I just go investment, um, financial companies for retail. Here we go. Here's an example. So V12 retail finance. So these have niched down into the retail sector. And you can see they've got the different sectors within retail, I presume. Yeah, electrical, furniture, leisure, lifestyle. They've got the different products. So I presume this is, yeah, financial products. So they do interest free finance. They've got a customer. Okay, so they do still provide financial services to the consumers by the sound of things. Apartment fee, 1,200 financial retailers. Don't really understand the difference between those two, but maybe that's just need more time to look at it. Let me give you a more simplified version of how I see site structure for, and this includes SEO. So it's optimizing your website for Google, your financial company's website for Google and for users. So art is not my strong point, but you'll be able to see from this, hopefully. So this is the generic structure of a financial company site. So they have the home page, top of the hierarchy, most important page on the website generally, and the key signal to Google how the hierarchy of the website works. So you've got the home page. Generally, if the company's niche down into a service or as niche down into an audience or a location, we want to make the homepage based around this. So if you're an investment company, primarily the homepage needs to be focused on that. If you're a generalist financial services company, but you only work with retail, again, like that one, it needs to be all tailored around that. If you only work with companies in Manchester, financial services for Manchester. But generally, this will write itself. It's fairly common sense with a homepage. Where the magic happens, if you like, is the next step down the hierarchy. So you've got different services that you provide for customers and businesses, and then you've also got different types of businesses and customers. What we need to do is to look to combine the two, which is where inquiries will increase, business will increase, organic revenue. So if we take a look at it at the next step down, services. So we want as much service coverage as possible within your finance business. So if you provide investment services, pension services, tax, employee finance, loans, all that sort of stuff, we want to segment those into as many sub-services as possible, within reason, within common sense. And if you need help doing that, feel free to get in touch with me or look at the competition. Google investment services, see how those investment companies have broken it down into different types of investment and create landing pages for each one. That's how it should look. Then we've also got your audiences. So we want to segment your audiences into different pages on the website. So, for example, I've put Fortune 500 companies. One example, you might work with charities, you might work with small to medium businesses, retailers, wholesalers. Um, yeah, I mean, there's a million different types of companies. Finance for marketing agencies. But you want to create different landing pages within that. And even if you think you've gone deep enough generally, you need to go to the next level. So it's like, even if your specialist, you think, oh, we've really niched down here. We're a really niche business. We do financial services for marketing agencies. All right, well, there's like 100 different types of marketing agencies. So create a page tailored for each one. Like, take retailers, for example. There's furniture stores. There's, like we just saw then, there's a million different types of retailers. So want to segment as much as possible. Once we've done that in the site structure, created a page for each service, each audience, put the key ones in the main navigation, in the main menu, and that'll give the biggest signal to Google. These are your important pages. To use a bit of an old term, these are your money pages that the blog posts want to drive people towards if you have those. Then we want to make sure the structure's set up so every page is mutually benefiting other one and it's linking to the relevant service or audience segments to help users out. So your audience pages, say it's financial services for retailers. I think I've put one here, Fortune 500 financial services. This audience page needs to link to all of your different services. So if it's tailored towards Fortune 500 financial services, which financial services are underneath that? Link to your key service pages. So for Fortune 500 companies, you do investment consultancy, accounting, tax for them. You might do pensions, whatever. List all your different services, vice versa. So on your service pages, so you do investment consultancy, or we'll do tax. So you provide tax services. Who do you provide tax services for? On that tax services landing page, you do tax services for retail companies, wholesalers, SaaS companies, marketing agencies, whoever it might be, and then link to their industry, their audience page from that. So everything's linking to everything, essentially, within reason. Obviously, there's a bit of a balancing act, but the general rule is if it benefits the user, it'll benefit SEO. So just don't go overboard, but make sure you link to all the key ones. So you might have like a list of 10 services, list of 10 audiences. On every one of those page, they can link to, you can do it at the bottom as well. Like it doesn't have to be at the top. Like keep it below the fold, but link out to all the different industries that you work, all the different audiences and services. So, and that'll really help Google to understand exactly what you do, which sort of which sector of the market you specialize in. Yeah, so that this is the general site structure. Hopefully that makes sense. Obviously, get in touch with me. If not, fisherseo.com. Let's have a quick look at. We'll do another website sort of inspired from this. So we'll do investment company for retail. We'll not do retail actually. Investment company for marketing companies. Not a great search phrase. Marketing agency might want that. Private investment marketing. This is the exact sort of thing I'm talking about. So this is a landing page, which is Halo Media. In fact, this might be the other way around. This may be a marketing. Yeah, sorry, this is a marketing agency. Financial investment. We make. I'm just going to try and find a better one. Investment services for retail companies. Square for retail investments and pensions. This is the sort of landing page that we're talking about. And they're talking about specific things to retail. So these do investment services. This is exactly the sort of site that I'm talking about. These have clearly had a website strategist or an SEO involved. So they've got services and sectors. So they're targeting all these different sectors. And if you're the head of a retail company and you're looking to invest and work with a company and you land on this, the page speaks to you completely. The conversion rate will be much higher than a generalist investment page or a generalist retail page. And they're talking about things that are specific to retail as well. Distribution chains, product manufacturers, investment managers, using these supplementary key phrases that are pertinent to retail. One thing that is tremendously important for just one sort of final note as well is, in fact, I might just, rather than audiences, think of that as sectors. That's probably a better way of putting it, rather than industries as well. Sectors is probably a better way of addressing that phrase, but on services and sectors, and everything else is still relevant. But I think one other quick point that I'd like to make is around finance companies. Obviously, there's a lot of false financing information out there. A lot of people who are inquiring around this sort of service get very nervous when it comes to safety, security of the finances. So any accreditations, make those prominent. Any partnerships, make those prominent. Sift through your copy to make sure every single word is 100% accurate. We want to make sure that we completely abide by EAT. So this is a really good example of this. We've got the sector leads, we've got the LinkedIns, we've got credibility, we've got actual detail of real people who work for the business rather than just a thrown up broad landing page that's anonymous. Got the bios, we've got contact details. The only thing that I think's missing is any sort of partnerships. Talk about previous experience with similar businesses. Which retail businesses have you helped with a portfolio previously? If you're a tax accountant, if you've got any testimonials or reviews, all of that becomes even more important. And what's even more salient is making sure that if you're a smaller consultancy, well, even if you're a larger one, you as the director or the owner of the business or you're the client services director, mention your qualifications and experience for you personally. I mean, that's the one thing that I suppose I've been missing from here. Fantastic how we've got people's images, LinkedIn's, a bit of copy there. I'd keep this really succinct and just have a couple of bullet points there and just go 15 years experience in finance, degree in investment banking from Newcastle University, for example. Um, I don't know the accreditation names, but is it like AAT accredited or something like that for accounting? Any accreditations and relevant qualifications just really drive home the credible element of the organisation.